By putting some data, we now find a whole world of countries in Africa that is importing their products. So I'm Arnaud Levasseur. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Trade Finance at MCB, Mauritius Commercial Bank. So I've been with the bank for nearly 20 years. So I've been on the trade finance spot since then. And I'm happy to be contributing to the bank's ambitions to push African trade and to finance African trade. The platform itself is a way for our clients to be able to diversify their supply side. So when you're buying, if you look at the profile of our clients that we have, it's a lot to do with corporates in Africa or in Mauritius that unfortunately have restrictive terms of payment with their Asian counterparts. So I'll give you just an example for illustration. Is like a Madagascar company will have to pay 30 to 50% down payment and then the rest before shipment. So you can understand that they will require substantial trade finance to be able to do the purchase. And then the logistics is challenging as well. So they have a longer trade cycle. So obviously, when we are now bargaining with the suppliers, which find African counterpart as risky, they won't accept alternative terms of payment. So how the trade portal is helping such clients is by giving them other ways, other informations on where to buy, whom to buy. There may be a supplier next door. So having these informations gives you leverage to renegotiate your contract, to maybe renegotiate your mode of payment and terms of payment. So by doing that, this allows the bank to be able to provide trade finance and trade instruments for them to be able to purchase, produce, sell, and repay. So for us, I think information is essential. And a lot of clients and a lot of communities around don't know that there are people that are buying next door, or again, people that are selling next door. So having access to information, to data, market data, provide them with tangible opportunities. So I can just share you an example. When I meet a client, I show them the trade portal. At first, I'm like, have you ever thought to buy from this country? By putting some data, we now find a whole world of countries in Africa that is importing their products. And funny enough, these guys are importing from very far. So this is where you can say, but I could have traded with them. So this is where I see spark in my clients. So I'm very happy because they are able to do business, to really go further and use this data to now find clients, find buyers. Then with the information that we provide, we are able also to now trade, to negotiate trade and to see what are the import license and export license that they require. So again, information is key. And we need to generate awareness about these informations. So for MCB, we have subsidiaries in Madagascar and Seychelles and Maldives. So we have a local presence in these markets. So we want to grow within these markets and to be known as the go-to trade finance bank. But now, because our ambitions is on African trade, we don't require to have local presence. The reason why is because a lot of these African banks are very good. They are doing a great job in terms of a traditional trade. Where we come into play is coming as a partner, bringing the complementary things that they require. So this is where sometimes we will leverage on these banks as partners in terms of security, but then we will provide the craft of trade finance, structured trade finance, supply chain finance to be able to unlock opportunities for clients, but also for banks. So we do confirm letters of credit of African banks that allows them for their client to negotiate credit terms with suppliers against. By doing all that, we are helping to bridge this big trade finance gap, which is not alone, but in collaborations with other banks. So that's a bit of our strategy about MCB. There are a couple of examples, but I think I will use two examples. One was where we had a company in an African country, in a landlocked country, that wanted to purchase a printing equipment. This printing equipment was going to be used to print school books for the primary schools. They didn't want to be dependent on imports for school books, so they wanted to print their own school books. So my client received this order, but then the payment terms was to give them credit. However, the suppliers of this product wanted cash in advance. So this is where we were able to craft on the back of a letters of credit, structured it to be able to help them purchase this equipment. And once they sold, they paid us. So you can see how we structured a deal by leveraging on their various trade instruments to be able to get them access to finance. But what was more important for us was the underlying benefits of it and the social impact. So that's where we said we were able to take this risk, even if it was a risky country, but we thought that it was very important. A second approach was something that is being built in Mauritius. So I will suggest you to go and look about Captain Arctic. It's the first low carbon emission cruise ship being built in Mauritius. And this cruise ship, when the company came to us, it was traditional project financing. And then we started discussing with the client. We said, but what if you use trade instrument to get access to lower cost of funding from outside? And this is where, with our knowledge of the banking market, but also the insurance market, we're able to craft a mechanism with our partners, AU Group and Atradius, where what we did was we issued a counter guarantee, then we issued a guarantee on the buyer, which got access to finance, made advance payment to our clients, and they got cheap funding. And this whole structure was less costly for all parties involved. So they were able to get access to finance to build in Mauritius a low carbon cruise ship that will enable tourists, the high end, to be able to travel the North Pole in selected area to get to know at first sight the tragedy that is happening there, so that we now start building the conscience about how we need to protect the planet. So it's something very important and very big for the world. I think also one last one, I would say, it's not a deal, but it's a collaborations with ITFA and Rebecca Holding, who we are working to build the social return on investment. So because African countries require trade finance, but also the social impact of trade finance, not only from the E perspective, but a lot from the S. So this is where we work with ITFA and Rebecca to try to put forward how trade finance in Africa has a social return, so social return on investment. So using data and information to be able to demonstrate the social impact of trade finance in Africa. Banks are, first of all, I think we need to demystify trade finance. Because when we talk about intra-African trades, it's a lot to do about information, but I said earlier, is to be able to provide companies with information about where there are potential opportunities, but we need to talk about it. Trade finance is not something that everyone knows. We don't hear it at school, so it's a lot about training your teams, the various person within the value chain. So one thing that MCB has done is created a trade finance academy. So where our people and experts are training our teams along the value chains. We do global trade talk series to get people interested about the trade trends. And we went further by doing it also to business school. So really talking about trade finance to the people but earlier adopters of trade, because we need the next generation of trade financier to be able to push intra-African trade. The second one we did also is launch a trade report last year about the importance of intra-African trade, which is roughly around 18%, just compared to Europe, which is 70% intra-European trade. So the potential is huge to grow. So this is where we, by leveraging on these reports, putting forward structures and informations how we can do more for the continent. This is one way MCB is helping, and we want to do it with our partners, with African banks, and really push collaborations across. First of all, I would like to thank TTP for this award, but also I wanted to say we receive it with great gratitude because it's something that's valorized, but really recognizing the work we are doing. Funny story, that for me to be here to take this award means that I had to travel more than 20 hours to come to live 35 degrees in Mauritius, to come to land in a freezing New Jersey and next to the city that never sleeps. So obviously I haven't been sleeping, but it was very important for us to be here. The reason why it was important, because Africa matters. And for us, Africa needs to be on the global stage, to be recognized on the global stage. So this is where, for us being here, is to be part of influencers or people that believe in trade, finding solutions. And a lot of these persons are not from Africa, but they are helping to push the African trade barriers. So they inspire us. Also, obviously, it goes to recognize our team, the people that our expertise, the people that work relentlessly to go the extra mile to push, but not only the teams at MCB, their families as well. Because for these teams to travel to Africa, the families is taking care. So it's the families, the support of the families, the partners around, the people that believe in us, and this enthusiasm we have about Africa. We're very passionate about Africa. We believe that it's there and it's going to grow. So this is where, for me, in a sense, it's the Ubuntu philosophy, because this is where I am because we are. So the way we are succeeding and the way we see this award is Africa as the winner, because Africa needs people to collaborate, to work together, to struggle together, to find solutions together, and to win together. So we definitely believe that people need to engage. We need global partners that believe in Africa, the challenges, the opportunities, not only see risks, and change this narrative about a positive outlook of Africa. So at MCB, we say, ensemble, nous capables, so we can if we want. So thank you. Merci.